Hello and welcome to our January 2023 Salesforce update. Super cool to have you here. We're going to be going through all of the latest news and headlines about Salesforce from January 2023. So let's jump straight into it. My name is Amber and Jana is one of our fantastic team and my good friend who helps us out to make these videos. So we really hope that you enjoy this new series. Let's get into it. Our agenda is starting with some news headlines. Maybe you've seen them, maybe you haven't. And then we're going to talk about some awesome technical features that are coming up or have just been released. And then we're going to go into some events and dates for global Salesforce things that you can get involved in and that are coming up this month or next month. All right, we're starting with some January news headlines. Salesforce cuts 10% of their workforce. We're talking about Walmart and Salesforce and what they've got coming up. We're going through our quarter 3 earnings, which are up 14%. I say we as if I am somehow owning Salesforce. Salesforce's quarter 3 earnings, which are up 14%. And then people leaving the Salesforce Exec team. It's a dicey month for Salesforce, not going to lie. It's not looking too good, but we'll go through it anyway. We'll have a look. So Salesforce cuts 10% of their workforce. This is nearly 8,000 people. It was all over LinkedIn. It was right at the forefront of the Salesforce ecosystem. And why is there this big cut? You may have seen it from a lot of other tech companies as well. It's because, as Mark Benioff has clearly stated here, as our revenue accelerated through the pandemic, casual boast, we hired too many people leading into this economic downturn we're now facing, and I take responsibility for that. So they basically spent too much money, and now they're having to cut down on a lot of staff. So a bit sad, but there's definitely a lot of movement in the ecosystem at the moment as people find new work, people start to go out on their own, or maybe even change careers entirely. Walmart and Salesforce, what's going on here? This is about handling deliveries in Salesforce, which is actually pretty cool. So if you are using Commerce Cloud and order management platforms, then you're in luck because Salesforce has actually partnered with Walmart to use some of their technology that they use in order to get their deliveries out to customers so quickly. So Store Assist is the Walmart app, which you can now access through Salesforce, and it helps users to manage and track their orders and speed up the handing over of packages to customers or to delivery drivers. So if you are a company that deals in delivery, or if you are thinking about upping your delivery game and you already use Salesforce, then this could be of real interest to you. You can enable buy online and pick up in-store with the Store Assist app. And this also helps you to manage local deliveries. So if you wanted reliable same-day delivery, then that is what this is intended for. So excited to see how this goes, how it's rolled out, and what the general user consensus is. All right, despite all of these layoffs, quarter 3 earnings for Salesforce were up 14%, so $7.8 billion. Revenue of $7.84 billion for third quarter fiscal 2023, which ended October the 31st. And this was up 14% year on year. So even though there might be a lot of drama around the Salesforce ecosystem with all the cuts, you can rest assured that the increasing trend is on the ever upwards, which is awesome news. This will probably be because they've been closing way more transformational deals as people move entirely to the cloud, and the people who are already in the cloud are expanding their use. So this is where we get into the multi-cloud expansions. Now, there's a few cool slides on this actually from the quarter 3 Salesforce slide deck, which I thought were really interesting. So I wanted to share it with you because it kind of breaks it down by product that Salesforce has used. So you can see here that the sales product went from 1.5 bill to 1.7 bill. So we've got a 12% increase here. And then the service product is actually the largest one of them all, which is very interesting, 1.7 to 1.9. Again, a 12% increase, so growth about the same across sales and service. In our platform and other category, including industries and Slack, this has got the highest rate of growth. So if you are thinking about where do I want to specialize in Salesforce, then maybe looking into the Salesforce platform or to the industry's products is a really good place to be, because that's got an 18% year-on-year growth, which is just massive compared to the 12% for sales and service. In marketing and commerce, this is a steady 12% as well. And then this blue one over here, which my lovely face is covering, is for data. So we're talking about Tableau and MuleSoft in this one, and that's got a 13% increase. So very interesting sort of page there, actually. Another page of interest was their quarter three revenue by region, which just breaks it down into America, Europe, and Asia Pacific. And we can see here that America is well in front in terms of growth with a 16% year-on-year growth. Makes sense. That's where Salesforce is based. Europe is the slowest out of the three at 10%. And Asia Pacific is kind of in the middle at about 14%. So wherever you are in the world, good to know, good to see that they're always growing regardless. So quite an interesting picture that it's painting of the global Salesforce kind of ecosystem here. All right, the last one here is about people leaving the exec team. Drama in the higher ranks of Salesforce. So there's actually been quite a few people who have left over the Christmas and New Year period. The co-CEO, Brett Taylor, leaving January 2023. The Chief Strategy Officer, Gavin Patterson, leaving January 2023. Slack founder and CEO, Stuart Butterworth, early 2023. Not confirmed exact date, but early 2023. Tableau CEO, Mark Nelson, December last year. And then the Chief Technology Officer of Security in January this year. So these are some pretty high up people in Salesforce who have all left around the same time. And I think that getting a new team in for this is going to be quite the challenge, as these are some of the main parts and main roles in running Salesforce. So interested to see how this will go and perhaps how it will change Salesforce as a company. Technical features. We're on to part 2 of our update, where we talk about 4 awesome features that are new or coming up as of January 2023. So let's just dive straight in. The first one is a basic data import. This gives your sales reps a guided process to import contacts and leads. Hallelujah. It has been well overdue that users can import their own contacts and leads using a simple data mapping user interface. As admins, you probably have been requested this a lot, and it's really nice that now this functionality is being given to end users. Admins will be able to enable this feature in setup by turning on Basic Data Import. Thank you, Basic Data Import. Very excited to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Our next one here is a dynamic activity composer, and there's a bit of a video here, a demo that we can see, which has this really funky new sort of layout for our activities. You can see we've got emails and our calls and tasks and new events, but they're laid out a little differently. They've got a bit more functionality here, a bit more automation, which I think is really, really neat. So it's good to see this being updated, because activities are such a large part of the end user experience. And I think that end users will be pretty happy to see these additions. Create personalized report filters. This is another really cool one, actually. With reports, now you'll be able to set a dynamic report filter on the user field, which presents personalized results for each user for that report. I believe there's something similar that we already do with dashboards, so it's nice to be able to see the same sort of thing actually show up on our reports. And you can see in this little demo here that someone is adding a filter and the case owner, and then we're using the relative user. So whoever is viewing it is going to be seeing the report as themselves. And the last one, which will be in beta, is to add text and images to your Lightning dashboards. So good, so happy this is here. For users of the Unlimited Edition org, you can now enhance your Lightning dashboards with text and images by adding the text or image widget. So good. I'm really excited for this one. I feel like it's something that gets requested a lot. But you do have to contact Salesforce support to enable this feature. So get in your requests quick. All right, some key dates and events. We always talk about the upcoming release, some local events, and Dreamforce. So our Spring 23 release, it depends on your instance of Salesforce, but the main release weekends are on the January 13th, February 3rd, and February 13th. So they're roundabout in this area, but find out where your one is or which instance or weekend you are on by going into your company information and setup and then looking for your instance. And then if you go to the Salesforce Trust website, then you can find your instance name there. And then if you just look up maintenance, and you can see it. So for example, this was for the winter release, and I just took a screenshot here of the instance that we are using. If you want to find out more about the Spring 23 release, then you can always go and look up the Spring 23 release highlights in Trailhead. They've got a cool little trail here. It does say 2 hours, 15 minutes, but that's for everything. So you can just take a look at the parts that are relevant to you and the products that you have. All right, some global events. World Tour Sydney is coming on the 1st of March. These are just the ones that are coming up in the next few months, really. Trailblazer DX, which is from March the 7th to the 8th. In the middle here with that little Kiwi, I had to throw it in. I am from New Zealand, and we are doing our first ever Salesforce conference here. It's called Kiwi Dreaming, and that is happening on the 23rd of March. So if you are in New Zealand, definitely check it out. There's a Tableau conference here, May 9th to 11th in Las Vegas. Woohoo! And then Dreamforce, the Classic in San Fran, September 12th to 14th. So book those dates on your calendars. They're pretty big events. Kiwi Dreaming. If you are in New Zealand, then definitely turn up, show some support and love. I think the organizing team is doing a fantastic job. And for all the other ones, just mark them in your calendar. They're well worth checking out. And that's it. So thank you so much for joining us. It's a lovely quick review of January for Salesforce, the latest updates, and we'll be doing this again in February. So excited for what February will bring. I hope that all your Salesforce projects and dreams and study goals all come true. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.